A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, Garrett Edwards blew our minds off. We are talking, of course, about Rogue One, Star Wars story. We watched the premiere last night, and this is our review.
We're gonna give you a fair warning. This is gonna be a spoiler-heavy review. So if you haven't seen Rogue One yet, do it. Come back. Just go see.
We're gonna try to keep the spoilers to the minimum. What we are going to, we're probably gonna spoil like what happens after Rogue One.
We'll try not to spoil Rogue One for you, but we can make it.
But it is a prequel to A New Hope.
As they
So
keep reminding you throughout the whole movie. So go see it. Do yourself a favor. If you don't like sci-fi, if you don't like fantasy movies, if you don't like Star Wars, go see Rogue One, because to me, the only reason...
You can't put it into words.
It's
a standalone movie for a reason, because you can watch it as it is, but it does tie into A New Hope. But honestly, we were blown away last year with
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens.
And we thought it couldn't get any better than that. Really,
It can.
It can.
And it did. It is.
By far.
Rogue One. Well, I have no idea what Disney's planning to do with the rest of the Star Wars franchise, other than the fact they're gonna put a movie out every year. But when The Force Awakens came out, you're like, okay, how do you top that one? And they did.
They definitely did.
From the story, from the characters. Yeah.
One of the things that I got is, I'm not sure how, when George Lucas sold off Lucasfilms, I'm not sure whether he ever wanted to tell this story or not, but the way Lucasfilms under Disney management, the way they did it is they pretty much told George Lucas kind of story that we saw in A New Hope, but we saw it in modern kind of way that we always wondered what kind of a movie A New Hope would be if George Lucas had access to technology that we have today, or Disney has today, or movie makers have today. Even though George Lucas, what he did with that film is nothing short of amazing in its own right, because he did use a lot of props, he used a lot of special effects, he used flight simulators to simulate the space fights and the attack on the Death Star. In regards to Rogue One, it doesn't start as a Star Wars movie usually does. It does have a similar opening shot that other Star Wars movies have, but right off the bat, you are in a galaxy far away, far away. You know you are gonna witness an amazing story, and the way it's told is nothing short of spectacular. This is the best prequel. This is the best Star Wars prequel I've ever seen, and probably the best prequel I've ever seen in any movie. We have no words. Seriously, like if you
we're seldom left speechless, if you would. But no matter what compliments you throw at the movie, they just don't cut it.
No way.
It's one of those movies that you watch it and you can't really say what it was like, except just like, you know what, go see it, because the stuff that happens in this movie, it may be what you expect of a New Hope prequel, what events that led to the New Hope, the stealing of the
Death Star plans.
Yeah, but the way it's told, you'd never thought it would be said in that way. That characters would be so vivid that they would drag you.
There's a lot of characters. They all have their own background stories. Well, the main ones, the five main ones.
You never thought that they would drag you into the story the way they did. That from opening shot, you're there.
Yeah.
You know, I never been in a movie theater where they clapped at the end. They clapped at the end.
Yeah, well,
okay, not
we
everybody,
live in Croatia,
but
so
you know,
I
here
know,
where we live, it's not common for people to clap at the end of the
or
movie.
shout at the movie,
It
or
didn't happen at the end of Force
Force
Awakens,
Awakens.
but it happened at the end of Rogue One.
Well, my first viewing at the Force Awakens, they actually clapped.
Well, alright, they clap here too, but the thing is, the story, go see it, folks. Like, that's it. No matter what I tell you, no matter what we tell you, what everybody else tells you, you can't fully experience what's happening on that screen unless you go and watch it. We can tell you about the story, it's wow.
And
we can talk about characters, and are you kidding me?
And we're not talking to we're not talking to Star Wars fans. Like, I know probably
Star Wars fans
fans
are gonna go watch it.
They're gonna go watch it anyway. If you're not a Star Wars fan, and you never liked or never could get into Star Wars movies,
this is a movie for you.
This is definitely a movie for you.
It does stand alone from the rest of it, so
even though it's tied to the others,
but
especially
it is a
to New
standalone
Hope,
movie.
but you can watch it alone. You can follow the story from the beginning to the end, and the experience you'll get watching this amazing
you get action,
story.
you get adventure, you get redemption.
The only thing this movie doesn't have is romance,
but you know, it doesn't need it.
It's a war story. Star Wars franchise finally lives up to its name, so to speak, because we rarely get wars in Star Wars movies, but like told like throughout the whole movie, like the prequels, they had bunch of fighting, but there was also a lot of like political stuff and talking and whatnot. In the original trilogy, you had wars, but they were more on minute scale. Even though there was a lot of fighting, it wasn't up to this scale. Like, what they did in Rogue One is, I'm not, like, the movie, I do have a few gripes with it, but they're so small in comparison to the whole movie. Like, those flaws, they're almost unnoticeable. Almost. But I can't remember the last time. Well, I can, but it's almost such a perfect movie. As like, I usually when Disney bought off Lucasfilms, and they said that they were gonna do like one Star Wars movie per year, and they started making. It's like every year, Star Wars fan, like, it's their most anticipated movie of the year. But to me, even though I'm not the biggest, I love Star Wars, I like them, I love the universe, but Star Wars movies aren't the things that I look forward to the most during the year, or even, I don't look forward to them, I just accept them as what they are. Oh, there's another Star Wars movie, cool, I'm gonna go see it. Similar to like Marvel movies Marvel movies do, but when I went into Rogue One, I had no expectations. I just thought I'm gonna go see a good story, and we were left speechless at the end of the movie. We're definitely gonna go see it again. As much as
Kevin Smith said something that you never, the last 10 movies of the 10 minutes of the movie, you get to see something that you never thought you'd wanted to see in a Star Wars movie. But oh man, do you want to see it? But the whole movie, just...
And I would like to go into spoilers just a little bit at the end of this video, simply because there are a few things that happen in the movie. There are kind of spoilers that I want to talk about, because there are things that we saw in this movie that we haven't seen in the previous movies that we wanted to see in previous movies. So at the end of this video, please don't stick around if you haven't seen the movie yet. So until then, go see the movie, and
then go see a couple more times, because
let's rate it now, and then we can talk about the stuff that we really want to talk about.
So we rate the movies. Okay, our rate structures, we go 1 to 30.
1 to 30.
And that's where we at. Kind of gives us, we think it kind of gives us the best way to rate a movie
in an enjoyable way.
Yeah.
And most fair, because 1 to 100 is way too high, and
And 1 to 10 kind of doesn't give you a full scope of what you when you rate the movie. It's it's a 6.
yeah, or 1 to 5. And then when you come to go to 1 to 5 system, it just doesn't work because there's too many decimals in that system to make the movie rateable in our opinion.
3.8693.
Yeah. So our system is 1 to 30, and
No, you go first.
I go first. I'm giving it a solid 27. 27. As I said before, there's a few gripes that are almost unnoticeable, but the few ones that bother.
For me, this is what I would refer to as a perfect movie. From start to finish, there's nothing in it that disappointed me. I'm at the edge of my seat throughout the whole thing, and I'm pretty sure that when I go see it again, which I will, that I'm gonna go through the same experience, even though I know what's happening. So when you get to watch a movie over and over again and still get the same experience out of it, that's a perfect movie.
I like Force Awakens second time as much as I did the first time.
That being said, I once said that I would never go full 30 for 30 just because nothing is that perfect. So I'm gonna give it a 29 out of 30.
Yeah.
Just because I can't go full 30 on any movie, unless it. But Rogue One, it's the closest thing I ever got to it. Like I said, it keeps you on the edge of the seat, keeps you involved. You're thinking what's gonna happen, but at the same time, when you go through it again and again, you get the same experience. So yeah.
And yeah,
I can't do any less than 29. Kind of giving it.
I would give it 29 too, maybe, but I just.
Yeah, gripes and stuff.
I just.
But no, for me it's a solid 29. I'd go 30, but like I said,
we
I
usually
don't
nitpick. We're not nitpickers, and I'm not. I'm being kind of a nitpicker in this area. Simply
I'm not.
because
I just enjoy
thing
watching
bothered me,
movies.
but
So.
anyways, go see the movie. If you saw the movie, we're gonna.
If you didn't go see it, you know, if you did, go see it again.
Yeah, we will. And
yeah, and then spoilers. So
yeah.
if you didn't watch it, goodbye till the next time.
Yeah, join us. Hopefully, we'll see you next week. There's at least like.
No, the last week of December is gonna be
big one.
Big one. We got Passengers, we got Assassin's Creed, and we got Collateral Beauty.
Yeah.
So all stuff we're looking forward to.
We'll try and make a video
before then.
With something. Yeah, because we have a lot of things we don't want to talk about. So go see Rogue One. May the Force be with you. For all of you who saw the movie, spoilers. Join us. So
no, we're just gonna roll.
Yeah. So one of the things that you mentioned is that there's one thing that we saw in this movie that we never thought that we would actually want to see in the Star Wars movie. Are you talking about Death Star actually shooting at a planet?
No, it's the last 10 minutes. So when you get the whole. You're talking about Princess Leia.
And Grand Moff Tarkin.
And Vader.
Okay.
Kidding me?
That way. Okay.
So Vader's in the movie, duh. But just to hear James Earl Jones again in that character, man.
It was beautiful, yeah.
It's not. It was poetry. Pure and simple. It's like just to see him again. Because,
hear him again because the guy that was in the suit looked more like the original.
Okay,
David, what's his name?
Yeah, but James Earl Jones provided the voice, and to hear him again, and then last 10 minutes when he shows up and he starts wielding the sword.
I like
lightsaber. Yeah. Are you kidding me? That was.
Although it was a great scene, but what had me at that scene, it wasn't. I was like, why is like. Because you had Vader chasing the rebel pilots, rebels basically, and they were handing off the plans to the Death Star as if they were giving out buckets like they used to do in the old days when they were
putting out fires.
Yeah. So it was like seeing the Death Star plans go from one hand to the other, and these guys are stuck.
And to actually see Princess Leia, the original Princess Leia,
and Grand Moff Tarkin. Because they brought him.
Yeah.
They brought Peter.
Yeah, what's his name?
I'll remember it.
And we haven't
But,
seen him since third one.
No, well, there was another actor who died. Dude died in '94, man. But the Grand Moff Tarkin was there. They brought him back digitally to life as they did the original Princess Leia that you actually see in the. What they did with the aging back technology is amazing. From
Well, it just shows
Tron
you how
Legacy to Ant-Man to Tony Stark in Civil War,
it
and
just
now
goes
here
to show you
is amazing.
what technology can do. So to actually see those characters as they were in
Their
the
original, yeah, when they were young, they're old
younger
now.
a lot, yeah. But to see him as the younger selves again, that's pretty cool.
That was amazing. And the thing that I always wanted to see was because they never really did it in the animated series or in the movies, like when the space aircrafts, when they go can they go to hyperspace from the planet? This actually happens here, and that was cool to see. I was like, okay, they can do this. Cool, I know they can do this. I'm good now. So it's like one more thing, one more mystery in galaxy far, far away that was revealed. Another thing was when Death Star destroyed.
Jeddah.
No, yeah, Jeddah. But when they destroyed the planet in the episode 4, Alderaan, and when voices of tens of thousands people cried in the Force, and Obi-Wan heard them, it was like, they were weeping and whatnot. We never saw actually what happens to Alderaan on the planet when the Death Star hit it. And
we just saw it was destroyed.
We just saw it
the
poof,
whole planet goes.
But they had to test the weapon, and that was testing of the weapon in the episode 4. But
I
were
think that was
testing
more of a
destroying the
let's
planet.
prove to the rebels that what we can do, our destructive force, if you would.
But they had to perform test runs before they even attempted destroying Alderaan. So they destroy one city and one planet here. Because the planet on which the Death Star plans are located at the very end of the movie is very small. It's basic size of the moon, basically, so it's not really a planet. Even though it has sea and beaches, and I can't even begin to I mean, you see it on my t-shirt, but seeing X-Wings as they're supposed to be, like with the technology that will give them justice in a space fight, fighting TIE fighters and fighting on the planet, and it's the reason why A New Hope is my favorite Star Wars movie. But seeing that was just, I was just happy to see it. And then it's like, because Luke Skywalker is my favorite character, and seeing him in an X-Wing for the first time back in '90s, I was like, wow, I wish I had an X-Wing. So it's like, now it's like I do have a t-shirt, but it's like seeing the X-Wings finally fight and knowing what Rogue One is setting up to do for episode 4 after seeing episode 4 is just amazing. So the gripe,
I have no gripes.
the gripe I want to talk about though is I'm gonna call it the death of
Galen
Erso, because even though rebels are well organized, they function pretty much like any government does, and they bicker among each other, and they have to agree on stuff in order to do stuff, and
so
they can't always see
he's
eye
gonna
to
go
eye.
on and on and on if I don't stop him. So here's his gripe, if you will. Galen Erso is the man who created the Death Star. Pretty much. The main character is his daughter, Jyn Erso. Basically, Galen started working on the Death Star, then he left. Then the Empire came back, basically killed his wife, and they got him to work. So what he did, for his part of the rebellion, if you would, he created a flaw within the Death Star. he buried himself in the work, so everybody in the Empire thought he's working. What he in fact did was he created the fatal flaw that Luke Skywalker takes advantage of in the New Hope. And the thing is, because of that, the rebellion wants him dead.
Because he helped build the Death Star.
That's his gripe. Why do you want to kill Galen Erso if the Death Star is already created? It's not like he's, you know, if you kill him, it's gonna get destroyed by itself. But I think the reason why they did the whole "let's kill Galen Erso" thing was to reconnect father and daughter. That was the only way. Well, not the only way. They probably could have done it differently.
They could have done it. They could have go and save him and get him out, interrogate him. They could have tortured him or something. It was like, no, you have to kill Galen Erso because if you don't kill him, Death Star is. It makes no sense whatsoever.
No, but the thing is, as far as the rebellion goes, he was the guy who created it. So if he's alive, he may be created. Who can say really, if he doesn't create something else?
No, because rebellion knows about Darth Vader and about the Emperor. So the whole. And they are behind everything. It's like killing Galen Erso makes no sense because Death Star, even if they killed him, like it would have been built. And that only brings me to the kyber crystals. Like, does every weapon now all of a sudden has to have kyber crystals connected to them? Can't a laser just be a laser?
Obviously not. Obviously not.
And that's one of the things that I like about...
But that's where you get introduced to two characters. That's where Donnie Yen and...
but I'm not talking about kyber crystals as kyber crystals. It's like, because the fact that kyber crystals were used to, you know, help build the lasers for the Death Star weapon. Do you see my point? Do you see it? Do you hear me saying it? It's like... You know, it's like they have lasers, they have blasters that work normally. They're just friggin' lasers.
But here you're talking about more powerful, if you would, laser. So maybe they need something stronger.
That's probably why they needed Galen Erso anyway.
But in the end, you get...
Because only Jedi and Sith, they're the only ones to use kyber crystals to build their sabers.
Lightsabers, yeah.
And for some reason, they obviously... I don't know.
But because they had to go to Jeddah for the crystals, that's where you get to meet Sherrod and Baze, which end up being a huge part of what's happening later on. Everything from going to kill Galen Erso to actually retrieving the Death Star plans.
Yes.
And so, I see your gripes, but I don't agree with them. I mean, they could have done things differently, but the end... They did it to serve the story.
Definitely, but...
So, and you did get something out of it, because they went to Jeddah, that was the whole...
We forgot mentioning, we can't overlook K2SO. Because the...
For me, K2SO, I mean, Disney shows how big a part droids play in Star Wars as a whole.
Universe, yeah.
But K2SO and Alan Tudyk to say he does a phenomenal job would be an understatement. But for me, he was sort of...
Voice acting is phenomenal in and of itself.
Yeah, he kind of, for me, he was the mix between C-3PO and R2-D2, as in he talked, but he wasn't the CP3O that kind of knows you, but he was like, what if R2-D2 could talk, but he still... That's what I got out of it, but I liked him as a whole. The spunk,
And there was one Firefly, this one line that he throws in the Firefly that was there as an Easter egg. There was an Easter egg also with if you watch Star Wars Rebels on Disney XD, there's an Easter egg for a well-known pilot in that series that you cannot miss, because they make sure you hear it. So it's like, that was also cool. There's a whole bunch of what's his name? Saw Gerrera. Originally he was a character in animated Clone Wars series, and then later on in the books. And I know books have a lot more background on all of these characters, but I don't ever want to read Star Wars books. It's not that I don't like them or don't want to read them. I want to enjoy Star Wars universe for their movies and animated shows. So, which are really good. If you're not watching Rebels, you should, because it's a great show. And we also got a nod off to Obi-Wan Kenobi in this movie. So possibly,
yeah, sort of a name drop mostly.
Yeah, it was more a reference than anything
Yeah.
else.
To a Jedi friend who's
Who's hiding out in the desert, and there was also Bail Organa's back, and Mon Mothma's here, and also Admiral Akbar, and a whole bunch of people who were in the New Hope, and they now had their gold leader, blue leader, red leader. Is like that nod to New Hope.
Red 5 died, you know.
Red 5 died, making way for my man Luke Skywalker. So it was like, yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
All that was
Red
said.
5 going down.
Red 5 going
He
down.
gets shot down, but the call sign gets freed up.
Hey man, when they start going, blue leader standing by, gold leader standing by, red leader standing by, red 5 standing.
No, they didn't do standing by. He actually.
There was like 3 of them, so it was like.
Yeah, dude.
It was still cool.
Yeah.
And what else? I think we pretty much covered it, kind of. It was like, I mean, seeing new planets and new characters that we haven't seen before was
And then watching them all get blown up.
Oh, seriously?
So one thing that you do get out of the movie though is you pretty much understand that everybody or mostly everybody who's involved with it dies.
They all die. Like
Because
if you
the
go
thing
into this
is,
movie-
none of these characters, with their age, all of these characters would have been in New Hope had they survived. So I think what you're looking for, especially the people who went down to the planet to retrieve the plans.
oh, they're dead.
You knew that when they were going on a suicide mission, the only thing they could get out of it was to actually get the plans out, which we know they did. But you're fully aware that at some point, all of them are gonna die. And one thing, and you know, you kind of pick it up at one point, like, oh my God, they were gonna die. And the only thing that's left
Yeah,
to
but we
wonder
went
at that point
into the
is
movie.
how they're gonna kill him. Which I'm extremely grateful for, is the way they died.
I was
You're not,
epic.
I
That was a glorious
don't
death.
think a lot of people are gonna pay much attention to it because it's just a part of the story. Like you got to introduce the hero, then you watch him die. But at the end, the way their deaths are portrayed is art in itself. None of them died a futile death, if you would.
It was very futile.
very. I mean, okay. Well, no, it wasn't. I mean, they got the plans for the Death Star, and each one of them,
yeah,
got
they didn't die.
And the thing is,
Their deaths
each
had
one of
meaning.
them had a thing before they died. When the pilot got blown up in a ship, the grenade rolls in, and you see him.
Sergeant Melcy is such a crucial character to this story. Don't overlook the guy, okay? He may seem insignificant, but he's not. He's a hero.
Who, Bodhi or?
No, Sergeant Melcy. The guy who was connecting the... man, I was like, people are gonna overlook this dude, but it's like...
No, Bodhi.
True hero.
Bodhi is the pilot. He flew
No, the other dude.
shuttles for the Empire, the cargo shuttles for the Empire, and then he actually helped them out in the end. He's that, you know, he's in the shuttle and the grenade goes in, and you see him. Oh crap! I'm about to die. K2, same thing. He's blasting off people, even though he knows he's gonna die.
Yeah, for a droid.
So
yeah.
they all get like they all get to die.
A glorious death. And
A
we went
glorious
into the
death.
movie knowing that none of them would survive, but then at the point in the movie when you actually
But
realize
Shira-
it's gonna happen, and
Yeah,
it's like,
but Chirrut
okay.
and Base, those two guys, they're oh man. The Force is with me. I'm on with the Force.
The Force
But
is with me. I'm on the Force.
to see a blind guy have such a big effect on a movie.
Yeah.
But man,
because
and the way he walks through blaster fire
to make
just
that
to flip a switch.
just to flip
And
a
you
switch.
know he's no way. He's
And you
gonna
know when
make
he
it.
flips that switch that he's gonna die. You know it.
Yeah.
Oh man, and he's like the force sensitive user, but he can't really
No,
like
he
use
was
the
the
force.
guardian. He and Baze were the guardians of the temple in
Of the
Jeddah.
temple on Jeddah where kyber crystals were stored or
But
mined or whatever.
since there's no more Jedi's and Empire kind of took over the temple, they had nothing left to
Yes,
guard.
but the
But they
cool
still
thing
stuck
about
around Jeddah.
yeah, but the cool thing about because there's two Jedi's in the universe that we know of, but it doesn't mean that just because all the Jedi are killed, that doesn't mean that Force isn't active with some people somewhere on various places in galaxy. The more we watch Star Wars Rebels and the more we explore Star Wars universe, you realize like that there were people who used the Force and were sensitive to it, even though they weren't Jedi. Like they may not be able to use it, but they can sense, I don't know, the dark side or trouble or whatever. And it was cool to see that in the movie, and I'm glad that they made a force-sensitive character, that they put him into the movie.
And the fact that he was blind only.
And Donnie Yen, I mean...
And yeah, huge Donnie fans. I watched Ip Man way back when he came out. But
yeah.
He's a great actor. And
everybody
to
was...
see him.
The performances in the movie were superb for every character. I don't think anybody... Even, is it Ben Mendelsohn who played Krennic? And it was great. I mean, he got force choked. I thought he was gonna die, but Vader let him live.
Little bit longer. Just a little bit longer. He dies at the end as well.
He dies too.
Everybody dies, you know, if you're on the planet
Except
when he blew
Tarkin.
up.
Tarkin doesn't die.
Yeah.
He dies late in the next movie. Which I hope you already saw. If you didn't,
Yeah.
go see it. Go see it. Go watch Star Wars. Come on, you love Rogue One.
Now you get to go like now you can just binge watch 8 movies. 8 movies. Remember when we got 3? Now we got 8.
Or 4, or 5, or 6.
Now we got 8 with 2 more coming out next 2 years. So
And two animated series. Not to mention all the books and comic books. For people who are into that stuff.
yeah.
We are into that stuff, but we choose not to read Star Wars comics or books. Because we want to enjoy the animation and the cinematics. Even though I hear great stuff about books and comic books. I did read Tarkin book. Actually, it was...
No, you listened.
I listened to it and
the guy who was Tarkin, who voiced Tarkin in that audio series, sounded a lot like Tarkin in the movie.
The original, whatever, I don't know. I think this went on for way too long for a bunch of Star Wars enthusiasts, because that's what we are. We're not hardcore fans, but we consider ourselves enthusiasts, and we enjoy this movie. We're gonna enjoy the next one,
and the next one, and then we're gonna enjoy all of them together, because now we get to binge watch 8 movies. 8.
Can we agree on the viewing order?
Is for episode 1 to the end. I mean, yes, episode 4, but if you really want to do it chronologically, you're gonna go with episode 1, and then you're gonna go 1 to 3, Rogue One, 4 to 7. Even though, even though 4 to 6 is still,
I'd say watch Star Wars. I'd say watch Rogue One first, then the original trilogy, then the first 3 prequels,
well,
and then watch Force
I
Awakens.
mean, do you want to? If you want to do it chronologically, you do it from episode 1. So that's the only question. Do you want to do it chronologically or not?
Yeah, true.
So if you want to do it chronologically, you do episode 1. If you don't...
I just like doing the way they were meant to be. Kind of. That they were theatrically released in that order. But, yeah.
That's it from us till the next time. I guess.
Hopefully... We have a few topics that we want to discuss, and we've been preparing.
He has. I have no
but,
idea what the topics are. I'm totally unprepared in these stuff.
But that's why we do this. So,
so thanks for tuning in, I guess, and see you next time.
Yeah, and subscribe. We need 97 more subscribers. Thank you to that one person who listened to us the last time. But we need 97 more people so we can customize our YouTube link. So thank you. Peace out. Bash Bros out.